Happy birthday, Prince George. That news headlines this week's Royal Roundup with our royal expert, Patricia Treble. And Patricia, George turns 11 today. We got that new photo just released this morning. What more can you tell us about the celebrations that are planned?
Look, I'm going to be honest. I'm with you. I could not believe when I saw that photo that he's 11 and how time has just flown from when, we saw him come out of the hospital as a baby. We know that it's summer break. So he's with his family. They're likely going to be in Sandringham the way they normally are. And it's an outdoors idyll. You've got everything. You've got, the swimming, and you've got the fishing, and you've got the jumping off the sand dunes. And this is the way they spend their summers. And I think it's just the most wonderful thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It sounds beautiful. We have to discuss Princess Anne because we know the Olympics begin this Friday. She's also the president of the British Olympic Association. Yep. We also know she suffered a concussion during that horse. Yeah. Was it a fall or did she was down?
It was an encounter. We don't really know.
Right.
Because she was found. So we just know there was an encounter.
There was a run-in.
Yep.
And she suffered a concussion. So how will that affect her role with the Olympics?
Well, so she's not only the president, but she's a member of the International Olympic Committee. Like, she always goes to the Olympics. She's there the whole time. So this is a big deal. And I think this is going to really we're going to find out more about the pace of her gradual return. I was asking around. We assume she's going to be there, but there's been nothing official given. Now, with her, rarely do we get advance notice. I mean, she just kind of does her own thing. The thinking is she's going to be there, but likely not for the opening ceremony, because that's a lot of light and music. That's not something you want. But she likes going to all the events, and she's a trooper. She just kind of pushes through. So we will see, because this is a whole different ballgame for her.
All right, keep an eye out for that. Meantime, this Thursday, we have a new interview set to air in Britain with Prince Harry. This is in regards to a documentary on the phone hacking scandal. What do we know about what he says, Patricia? And also, you've got an update on the upcoming Invictus Games.
Yeah, so this is fascinating. When I saw this come up, I kind of went, because he has a lot of legal cases in the mix right now, and he's in hot water with a judge. I mean, for allegedly destroying texts and drafts of his memoir. So the fact that he's doing this kind of really surprised me. They're keeping it very close to their chest, releasing nothing as of now. It's going to be on ITV, which is the main network. I'm going to be watching it, and I'll bet you the newspaper lawyers are also going to be watching it for all their upcoming cases. As for the Invictus Games, this was a big surprise. The president, who'd been there for 10 years, he's announced he's leaving. And the timing is a bit awkward because we're coming up to the games in Vancouver and Whistler next year, beginning of next year. I think Harry's going to have a very, very busy summer. Everyone else gets to go on vacation. I think he's going to be working.
Okay. Moving to Princess Kate next. It was so great seeing her at Wimbledon.
Oh, yeah.
But that we may not now see her for a while.
No. I think they're now, as I said, the family's on vacation. They usually just kind of vanish. I think official engagements, no, but unofficial engagements. So will we maybe see a photo? Will they throw us a bone, show us maybe, everyone getting ready for, celebrating the Olympics maybe? Also, when they go to Balmoral up in Scotland, the tradition is always that they go to church on Sunday. Public road, so they have to go by the cameras. So we might be able to see some photos of her, but I don't think we're going to see her on any engagements at least until the fall.
Okay.
All right. Just a few days after the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, there was also a security scare that we need to talk about, Patricia, this morning involving the King and Queen. What do we know about this?
Yeah, so they were in the Channel Islands. They were doing a big tour, massive crowds. It was a public holiday there. And then all of a sudden, security spotted something they didn't like. Reportedly, it was a person on a roof. And of course, that immediately set off alarm bells. But it's a sign of kind of how low key it is, because the protection officer went up to Queen Camilla and said, we have to go. We could hear it on the audio. And she just walked away, but eating her ice cream. So they all went inside for a little bit. Security was able to check it out. They were able to resume, but it shows you there are rings of security around the royals. Even though they're in these massive crowds, you don't know it, but it's there. And it's just kind of, I think, a sign of the times that everyone is a little jumpy these days.
Also maybe shows her love of ice cream.
Do not get those two away from a fair when there's ice cream or booze.
Okay. Speaking of the King and Queen, we have an official portrait.
Finally. It's taken 22 months, but Canada has the official portraits, head of state, I mean, you think. So now the government buildings, they've had the late Queen Elizabeth II up on their walls. They can now start taking them down, put up the official portrait. It was taken last month, Buckingham Palace. I think it's lovely. He looks good in blue. She looks fabulous in blue. He's wearing the Order of Canada, but she's wearing, this is my fun, the Maple Leaf brooch, which is probably one of the most iconic royal brooches. Diamond, made by Cartier. It was made for the 1939 tour of his grandparents to Canada, which was the first tour by a reigning monarch, and has always been associated with all Canadian events. You'll see lots of lots of women. Camilla's worn it. The Queen, late Queen's worn it. Kate has worn it repeatedly for Canadian events.
All right. Well, great to see, and as always, great to see you here on a Monday, Patricia Treble. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you.